Today, we are talking to Mike. He is a loving father and husband. Mike is a businessman. He's a faithful pastor. He's been in ministry for over 30 years, and he wears all those roles and still has managed to lose 35 pounds in about 6 months and sustain that weight loss for an additional 3 months after that, all inside this Fit Pastor community and the coaching program. And so today we're going to talk to Mike, find out exactly what he did to accomplish that, how he manages his bivocational ministry, how he balances time with his family, and how he's able to crush his fitness goals while faithfully serving and stewarding the things that God has given him. So, Sir Mike, how about you give everybody a little background around who you are, where you're from, and how you got here to this point?
Yeah. My name is Mike Betts. Let's see, I've been out. We have lived in Virginia pretty much most of my life to some degree. I've been around a little bit in some different places over the years, but kind of came to nestle into our location and place. And have been involved, as Charlie stated, in ministry for most of my life. I had a little detour in my younger years, like many do at times, and God very patiently drew me back in, and I'm so grateful for that. And currently have been a pastor now for the past 5 years. I am also working towards my doctorate in biblical studies, and have a bachelor's degree in counseling and psychology, and a master's degree in counseling. Um, and so we've just tried to pursue growth in every possible way. And of course, I've got my beautiful family that I have with me along this journey, uh, and then on top of that, as a bivocational pastor, I operate and work inside of an organization where I have about 23 stores, that grocery retail chain stores, that I kind of oversee. And this week is one of those entertaining weeks where I have some company coming into the area. So we're trying to make sure everything's all lined up and sitting pretty. And so that tied to trying to minister to a church body that runs between 50 to 70 people, depending on who's on vacation one week or not. It's a pretty wild ride most of the time. I'd say my fitness, uh, I was a younger, fit individual, and right up until marriage, which was almost 30 years old. And then I just kind of lost my way a bit inside of that, and obviously trying to navigate the different roles that I had at that time. And put on a little bit of weight, started to slow down some, and feeling some aches and pains that I wasn't used to, and all that type of good stuff. Had a full knee replacement about 2 years ago, and that was kind of a start for me to, hey, let's work on me. And so that's not easy to do when you're a pastor, or when you're a dad, when you're a husband. We are not prone to put ourselves in the front and center in any kind of capacity. And so sometimes we let ourselves kind of fall to the wayside. And I think it's important. I think scripturally we find the power in knowing and understanding that how we treat this temple is important too. And so right around October is when I really just kind of started to hone in on some different aspects and habits for me. Connected with Charlie somewhere in that time frame. I think, Charlie, was it around October?
That's right. I have our first DMs in the end of September. And I
Yeah,
think your first weigh-in in the community was September 22nd. I was just looking back through it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was so for me. A few years ago, I did a different program called Better Help, and or Better Health, and very simply with that, it was the connection piece. Sometimes just a level of connecting or accountability in the sense of that connection helps me kind of stay the course. And it's just in the investment of myself and different things like that. But Charlie certainly has offered some different highlights and insights and things like that I've been able to apply. I'm one of those that I feel is not. I don't need a lot in that engagement, but I do. It's something for me that I kind of still have in my mindset. And so, even when weeks get crazy, and hey, Charlie, just checks in with me and say, how are you doing? It's a good reminder. He's like, yeah. I got to stay the course and stay focused, and those little things like that kind of just give me just enough boost to really maintain and stay focused. I had actually started at about 285, and so
Okay.
currently running 245. Hit 244 this morning. Had kind of tweaked some, so I did get your text, Charlie, but I just didn't get back to you. I'm sorry, but I had tweaked some in the nutrition and actually kind of geared to making my own food, and that seems to be helping me pretty well to where I can kind of curb some of the different things there. So nutrition was kind of the first thing that I focused on for me. And that helped me quite a bit in really just kind of isolating that and getting breaking some habits. So I mean, I had some snacking habits, I had some different things like that. I do some different mild exercise routines in the morning and start my day off with that, along with my devotion time and things like that. And those are nice starters for me. And then still striving to get to the gym or doing some cardio, different things like that in the afternoons. And so that's still my area of progress that's needed. And unfortunately, when you take on so many different roles, time is not always there. So I mean, like this week is one of those interesting weeks where I've got bosses coming into town, so that means there's going to be more running a gunner for me at work. Oh, by the way, I've got 3 papers due by Sunday, and I got to put a message together and have some things put together for Wednesday night, Sunday. We got Friday night family nights and all that kind of stuff. So time will get away from me, and I don't live in a state of condemnation for myself in that because I really do end my days well in what I'm doing, and I feel better. I feel healthier. And so it's just a matter of getting up every day and trying to keep after it. Charlie certainly has offered some insightful paths with what type of exercises to do, and I use that as my guide quite often if I'm going to the gym or even when I'm doing stuff at home. And so I think that's been helpful. And then just the check-ins, simply, hey, I'm putting in my stuff in my fitness, and he'll shoot a note, and I'm like, I've got to do that. I got to get that done. So I mean, like for me, and just with the extensiveness of everything that's going on, this has been a very helpful, just exactly what I needed because I don't think I need a ton. I don't think I need blow by blow, piece by piece, because I've found over the years things that work for me, and it's just a matter of putting them into application. And I appreciate the freedom that that Charlie puts in there for me, with not trying to dictate every aspect of this journey, but very much nudging me where I need to be nudged, and certainly celebrating the wins as we go along the way.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. And I'm glad that the check-ins are kind of helpful for you. I
Absolutely.
guess I want to back up though for just a minute. Before we connected in September and then started working together in October,
Mhm.
what was life like before for you, fitness wise?
Well, there was none, so that just wasn't there at all. So that's definitely the from zero to hey, I'm getting something done on a weekly basis. So
How
uh,
did
that's about where it's at.
how did that feel?
The It feels good. It feels good to there is a level of strength and energy that I get from that, which I have experienced before, just in trying to do this journey before. And as you go exercise, I mean, hey, as a counselor, uh, I will um, I will preach what I don't always do, which is, hey, there is endorphins. There are things that are activated that help our moods, that help I mean, like these are things that I absolutely encourage in my counseling sessions as I'm dealing with folks that maybe are dealing with depression and anxiety and different things like that. Because I know enough and understand enough about that when we do those things, the body has a natural release of of those aspects that are beneficial for us. And so, and it's easy to see it. It's not always easy to do it. And so that would be for me, it's always beneficial as I get active and engaged in that capacity. And there's a drive too, like a hunger to do more, and so that's I think that's something that has absolutely grown from, this engagement and this, aspect throughout.
Yeah. Well, and that's interesting that you say that because almost every time I'm on the phone with the pastor, kind of having a conversation, potentially investigating coaching if that would be an option for them, they almost always say something to the effect of, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. And it's like having that accountability, that check-in, or to like the endorphins for you, putting on your own oxygen mask before you put on the neighbors. That's kind of, we don't always practice what we preach. And I feel like that's a big ingredient that a lot of pastors suffer with. So before you started taking ownership of this, the second time, because I guess you were pretty fit before.
Mm. Years ago,
After
Charlie, years ago.
years ago. Okay, so the first time in recent history,
Yeah.
what were you unable to do that you wish that you could at that point?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Run it to me again.
Yeah, before you were working towards fitness, before you lost your 41 pounds at this point, were there things that you noticed that you couldn't do? Were there things that, you were being held back from?
Sustained energy would be the biggest one. So, the energy level to do all the things that I do is, it's taxing. And
I'm sure.
so I would crash pretty easily and, hey, get up the next day, go after it, but struggling, man. I mean, some days it just be so exhausted and so drained, and so because I mean, you take the inactiveness aspect and then intermix kind of poor eating habits. Like I grew up in a house that, hey man, we were salty snack eaters. We were all so. I mean, I inherited those things from myself and carried them with me, and so the level of when because I mean, I very much strive to eat clean or eat healthy. And as soon as I deviate, like it just knocks me out. Like, I mean, it's just like my body is a complete rejection of it at this point in time. But at the energy level, man, like to do all the things that I can do and have done and do them well, one, hey, to God be the glory.
Yeah,
But at
yeah,
the same time, can I get this physical body to match God's glory in His work in my life? And that has been the benefit of that. There's more energy. There's more less cloudiness, less things like that. Just able to do. I mean, hey man, it's 6:12, and I still feel like I could clean a house, and that wasn't the case a year ago. So
that's
it's
wonderful.
those different that really probably that is the biggest thing for me, which was probably the driving force. It might have even been one of the first things I said. Just to have the energy to do all the things that I'm doing. Like I've got all this stuff going on, but if I don't have the energy to do them well, then what's going to turn out? How's it going to look? What's going to look like when I preach? What if I'm running out of energy while I'm preaching? Those things
Yeah.
all echo in my brain, and so yeah, I think that's a huge benefit there.
Do you feel like your family or your church ever experienced those crashes alongside you?
I don't think the church so much, but family, 100%. I mean, they certainly saw the past couple years where I just kind of wound down and really just lack the motivation to get going. Like our family vacations became different. Like just there was no concept of going to a park all day long for a couple years. Like because I'd run out of steam. Um, and so they kind of got that, and I mean nothing that ended their world, but at the same time, I'm sure they felt it to some degree. They felt the change because it all just kind of caught up to me.
So, do you remember how you found Fit Pastor?
It was Facebook. I saw a Facebook ad.
Okay. What were your thoughts like joining? What were your thoughts when I first reached out to you and we were DMing that beginning of the process? What were you
Yeah,
thinking?
it's just curiosity more than anything else. I mean, obviously, I know that you're striving to build a business in this capacity, so there's a little bit of skepticism that comes into my mind for different things, especially when you're looking at Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And so, um, but as simple as what I was looking for, and just that nudge, that connection, the guide. I'm not so super social media engaged, so obviously that sometimes makes it I do try to tag into the app here and there, and see what's going on, with the posts and different stuff. But I just my phone is not exactly my designation, for a lot of things, and so it's one of those things that I just kind of have as a bit of a bridge. But um, I saw it. It was interesting to me or intriguing to me. I think there's an authenticness to you. I think you have even your own journey is in there, and so I think that's reflective of that. I think you're respectful of the fact that there's a lot of different things a lot of pastors are dealing with and going through and operating on, and trying to carry the cares and worries of their families on top of the cares and worries of however many people they're trying to pastor. And so there's a lot that comes along that. There's a lot of mental strain that comes along with that. And so uh, all of that intrigued me. And I mean, I think our engagement was enough for me to say, all right, well, let's give it a whirl. And I think it's been good.
Awesome. So give us the breakdown. You went from 285
Mhm,
to 244,
mhm,
so 41 pounds.
mhm.
What else has changed along the journey?
I've had to buy a new wardrobe. So just so
Nice.
people know, it can get a little expensive. I mean, I just, I was tired of wearing parachute stuff, and my wife kept guiding on me too. She was like, "Those pants really do not look right on you now." And so we've had to invest a little bit into clothes that fit a little bit better, which is nice. Hey, my feet don't hurt as much anymore, and I'm a little flat-footed, so at least I don't have that much weight on top of them. I've had to change my sleep apnea oxygen levels a couple times now, and and that's another benefit there. Like the first time it happened, I think it was the 25-pound mark, and I was waking up because the thing was blowing so hard to keep me. I thought it was still trying to keep me alive, but it didn't need to do that. So that was cool to reach
Wow.
out to my doctor. Hey, last week. Blood pressure was normal. It was 127 over whatever the bottom one is. My doc, she said, "Mike, you've never been normal." I was like, "I know. You ain't gotta tell me." I mean,
And you
I've
have
been with
3
her.
papers and VPs this week. So of all the weeks,
Yeah, yeah,
you're gonna have
yeah.
to go back on a low stress week and just
Right,
keep
yeah, no,
the
I'm not checking it this week, Charlie. That's not happening. Because I've been red faced a couple times, so a couple folks have had stopped me and said, "Mike, you all right? I'll be fine. We're gonna get through this." But yeah, no, man, it was cool. That was a cool moment because I mean, I've been on blood pressure medicine. Like, I've had high blood pressure from the time I've been seeing her, which has been about 7 years. And I it escalated to a very dramatic degree a couple years ago. So they've been putting on medication and trying different things. We kept having to up it, and basically all we could do was get it to a mild hypertension. Like there was no normal. And so I think firmly believe the combination of fitness, weight loss, dietary, all that goes into play, and to be able to see that result and just that piece of it is pretty exciting. So,
how's
yeah, I
that
mean, that's
feel?
just some of the things that have changed, been different.
I love it. How's that feel?
Oh, that's great, man. Love it. I mean, it's a little costly with the clothes stuff, but I mean, other than that, I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
I'm
No, I
sure
like it.
many people would pay that price.
Hey, and here's the thing too. So, like, being a bigger guy, whenever you go on a roller coaster ride or anything like that, there is a fear that etches in the back of your mind that one day you're going to go sit down in one of those chairs and they're going to say, "Sir, you can't ride this ride."
Mm.
And I mean, at 285, I was close. Like they had to squeeze a little bit to get me into those things. And so our last visit, we did Universal just a month or so ago, 2 months ago. I didn't have to worry about none of that. That was pretty awesome. Like I just slid right in. They popped those things in. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. So it's and it's those things that kind of pop up, man, and make a difference.
So little things you don't think about until you're
That's
there,
right. That's
and
right.
then you look back and you see how much progress you've made. That's gotta feel amazing.
It does.
So
Yeah.
earlier, I asked if your family, if your church had noticed, any of the downside kind of before this journey. What about now?
What about what about now?
Yeah, are they feeling the effects of you taking this journey seriously?
Oh,
Are
yeah,
you seeing the
no.
result?
My wife's mad at me. She keeps telling me that she is mad because I'm now the skinny one, which is funny because I mean she's still smaller than me, but yeah, no, she says a lot inside of that. But my kids, they're I don't know if they recognize it. As far as the church is concerned, I think they recognize the fact that I've been working on myself, but um, other than that, it's because I mean, honestly, so when I started pastoring this church, I was 255, I think. And I'd been kind of holding that for a little while. Like I had gotten it down to 240 that year previously. And then just slowly kind of because I started traveling with work and stuff like that. So it started to creep up on me there. So they've kind of seen it steadily increase, just here and there. And then they see the difference, as far as the other piece of it. So
It's
as far
awesome.
as energy level, I've always think I carry it's something about the spirit, man. Like you get in amongst believers, there's an energy. Like even now, I'll come dragging in on Wednesday night sometimes and just exhausted. But man, once we break open that word, the spirit just kind of comes on you and reinvigorates you. And what I'll say is the one of the differences is you feel that surge of that spirit, right? Like the anointing that hits us. I don't think we're human beings are fully equipped to handle the full anointing of God. And when we do, and how long we carry it, that once we're done doing what He wants us to do, on the other side of that, I can tell you there have been times I'm just done. Forget it. Stick a fork in me. It's time to go to bed. Hey, Sunday afternoon nap was mandatory because I didn't have anything left for anybody. And I don't experience that to that degree. It's not to say I'm not still squeezing in a Sunday afternoon nap, but that's more out of pleasure of getting a little bit of sleep than anything else. So
Yeah, and that is awesome. So, what would you say to somebody who's watching right now and is potentially unsure about taking next steps?
I'd say I think this is a worthy adventure. I think it's a worthy engagement. Everybody's going to get a little something different out of it,
Mhm.
and so my story may not be exactly somebody else's, but it is so easy for pastors and anybody in ministry to put ourselves off of a priority list. It's so easy to be so focused on other people that we allow some behaviors and we probably don't preach enough about nutrition and gluttony and all those types of things. We should because they're equally as damaging at times. But we invest in so many things that I think sometimes too we almost even say, "Hey, I'm invested in my spiritual life. I'm invested in all the things that God has me doing." But this temple, this body, I think is important too. And if we want to continue doing it for as long as we can do it, which is one of those things that it etches in my brain, is that I want to be here as long as I can be here. Hey, I look forward to the next step. But while I still got kids and a church and everything else, wife, all those things, I want to be able to live a good life with them and be able to do things that they want to do and do that journey with them. And I think what you offer inside of this is that it's either going to be it's going to be the engagement that somebody will need. For me, it's not a high level engagement. It's enough to where it motivates me. And that's what I need. I'm a simple, motivating individual inside of that. I don't need you to drag me kicking and screaming and all that. But some people might say, Charlie, I need you to tell me to get myself together. And I think you'll offer that.
I
And
just sent
so
a text doing that exact
yeah.
thing.
Hey, like some people, look, man, I told my boss
Yep.
today, I said, hey, any feedback for me, anything I can work on? And he's a super good guy, man. He's a Christian too. And so we always talk God. And he's like, no, man, you're doing great. I was like, hey, man, just remember, I said, if I ever get out of line, you just tell me. I said, because I'm one of those guys that I'd rather just punch me in the head with what it is that I need to get punched in the head with, and I'll fix it. It's as simple as that. So everybody's different inside of that. And so I think it's important, man. Like the physical, the nutritional, the fitness. I think it's as important to the mental state of us as pastors, because it's a bit of a burden for me that I have for others that are in ministry, because there is more depression experience inside of the ministry and pastors, anxiety, all those types of things, because it is at times a very lonely road. And so I think this offers some companionship along that journey as well, and I think there's benefit in it across the board.
I think one of the most common texts that we've exchanged both ways is, "What can I pray for you about?" And I think you're frozen. Hopefully you're still there, but there's a richness in that kind of relationship. We are able to share the burdens of ministry, share the burdens of your family, with another pastor, another guy who's in it, another man who loves Christ. And, I think that, to me, that's one of the most, I don't know where he went, but to
He
me, that's
lived
one of
for a
the,
second, so
there you go. Okay. To me, that's one of the most compelling things. One of the most enjoyable parts about my job here is just getting to pray with and for you guys. So,
yeah,
Mike,
it's not always easy for some, like, who do you turn to? And,
yeah,
I heard a message years ago about surrounding or having a circle of individuals, or a circle of men or whatever, to basically, hey, send a message to, if you need prayer, if you need whatever. And so, and I've done that, like I've created that. But those relationships matter, man. I mean, I work closely with my boss, and there's been times I know he's about to face something. We're about to get in trouble for whatever thing we're going to be in trouble. Hey, man, let me pray for us real quick, and
yeah,
uh, those little things, I've heard people tell me that, that really encouraged me in that moment, because it's not always expected, because, oh, you're the pastor, you've got it all together, everything's perfect and in order, and you don't deal with any troubles whatsoever. That's not the reality. We're human just like everybody else, and so I think that is huge, and I appreciate that when you send me those texts, and I could shoot, hey, keep me in prayer for this, and I think just value in that for sure, 100%.
for sure, for sure. Okay. Well, I appreciate your comments, your kind words, and here's to more.